For more on the uncertain future of leadership in the House, joining me on set here is President of the Center for Renewing America and former Director of the Office of Management and Budget, Russ Vought. Russ, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So let's start with House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy. He's been asked about challenges to him becoming Speaker. Let's play it.
I'm not concerned. Think about this. Since I've been leader for the last 4 years, we've only gained seats. It's the goal of winning the majority. We won the majority. I think I accomplished the goal that we wanted to.
So what about that? He's raised a ton of money, worked hard for Republican candidates. He's done just about every job in leadership in the House. What about Kevin McCarthy?
Yeah, I think what Republican voters are asking is, I thought we put people in office to capitalize on every opportunity that exists, and we had a red wave out there. They said that this was going to be a red wave. All of these commitments to him were based on the fact that this was going to be a red wave, and yet we're on the other side of Tuesday, and it didn't turn out that way. And the majority is very, very slim, if at all. And it's time for Republicans to stand for something. They put out a commitment to America. I still don't know what they were committing to. And as a result, what we saw in this election was when people stood for things and fought, they won big. And I think that's one of the reasons why Kevin McCarthy right now does not have the votes, and I don't think he will have the votes in January.
Wartime Speaker, you've made reference to that term. Who do you have in mind?
Look, I think that we need a paradigm-shifting speaker. I think you need someone that's going to wake up every morning and think that we need to take it to the adversary. And I think that's someone like Jim Jordan, someone that comes from the conservative side and has an opportunity to be able to unite House Republicans and do battle with the left, do battle with the deep administrative state that exists, is woke and weaponized against the American people. But it doesn't necessarily have to be him. Someone will rise up. I think what's important for this next week, when they have the Cartel vote next week, and it's not the real vote. The real vote is in January. When they have this vote, I think it's important for enough House Republicans, House Freedom Caucus, to stand and say, we're done with this. We're done with kind of the cartel speaker, the peacetime speaker. We want real change. We actually want to save the country in this late hour, and we want someone else. And then a lot of things can happen once you put down the current candidate in Kevin McCarthy.
Okay, so the next Speaker of the House will likely have a single-digit majority. Democrats control the White House and the Senate. So how much power does a Speaker with a single-digit majority really have?
Mike, a lot. They have the ability to oversight. They have the ability to do subpoenas and depositions, but they also have the power of the purse. And I think the challenge that Republicans have had is they've never had a speaker that wakes up and with smaller power than they would like and say, how do I actually use that as the left would? You know, Nancy Pelosi never has that problem. She wakes up and she thinks she's the minority leader before she was speaker. And she said, I'm going to do everything I can to use my power to do battle against the Republicans. That's what a wartime speaker, a wartime minority leader does. And House Republicans need that. The country needs that. House Freedom Caucus has an ability and an opportunity to make history. And I hope they take it.
I covered the Hill for more than a decade. It always struck me that Democrats never seem to step out of line around Nancy Pelosi, but Republicans did not have a problem challenging John Boehner and Paul Ryan. What about Republicans who may be rebellious by nature?
I think it's an aspect of Republicans that their leadership has not been aligned with their movement. And they don't have that problem on the left. Their leadership is aligned with their movement. And Republicans have a leadership team that generally kind of tries to find ways to manage their members by meaning let's distract them from the real fights. And that's part of what I'm getting at, is it's time for a speaker or a minority leader that gets where the grassroots is and knows what time it is in this country and makes decisions on that basis. You're not going to be able to win every fight, and the grassroots doesn't expect you to win every fight. But what they expect you is to use every opportunity to the fullest.
Russ Vought, very interesting. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thanks, Mike.